Are you ready for more radiant, passionate relationships, trading in obligation for pleasure and duty for ease? I was wondering the other day, why is it that I consistently put the things that make me feel really, really good at the very bottom of the priority list? I always feel amazing when I do yoga or meditate or walk in nature, paint, or spend time with friends. Why is it that I always make everything else more important? And then I came across this picture. It's me. I'm in brownies, 8 years old. I had earned all the titles and the badges and the bars. I was the leader of my little group called the Elves, and we would skip around and sing, "Here we are, the little elves, helping others, not ourselves." Helping others, not ourselves. And I wonder where the exhaustion comes from. Why I won't allow myself to experience pleasure before duty. Why obligations and shoulds take priority over self-care. We are worthy when we are serving others, when we are performing obligations, striving, earning, and we are subtly or not so subtly scolded or shamed or labeled as unworthy or lazy or selfish when we have our own desires, or we take the time and the space for our own experiencing of pleasure and rest and relaxation. So how do we undo all of this social conditioning? Lucid Living has an amazing 4-step process called the Responsibility Formula, and it starts to pull apart and examine who we have been and helps us transform. So the first step is recognize. Most of our beliefs are buried so deeply in our unconscious that we can't even see them. Really seeing how this belief has infiltrated your whole life. It's not just a mental construct. When someone asks me to do something that I don't really want to do, I feel the physical response, the tightness in my gut, the constriction through my chest, and fear and anxiety rush through my whole body. It's a visceral reaction. Because when I constructed this belief, I was so young, and I genuinely believed with every ounce of conviction that my lovability was contingent on my performance. Of course, as an adult, I can look back and realize that wasn't the case. However, the belief system itself was set in place by that younger self. So it's irrelevant. To her, it's real that love, safety, and belonging are conditional on perfect performance. Second step is acknowledging. So this really challenges us to look at the cost this belief system has had to ourselves, as well as to all of the people in our lives. And this can be a little challenging and difficult. When I feel into what that has cost by choosing busyness and obligation and that sense of feeling very productive and important, I realize the impact of that overwhelm caused me to be in agitation and a constant sense of urgency, and that would have me snap at the people that I love the most, or not have time for the people that I love the most. And that's a tremendous cost. It's really hard to look at. And this is where we can start to loop in a shame spiral. it's not actually helpful in the process. It just keeps you in sort of an eddy of self-punishment and feeling worse and causing everybody around you to also feel worse. Allow yourself to feel, genuinely feel the emotions below the shame. It's very uncomfortable, and you can tell that it's genuine emotion because emotion will always move through you. That's what it is, energy in motion. Third step is forgiveness. It's where we get to set ourselves free and we're no longer shackled to the past. We might not always be able to forgive ourselves the what, because we might have hurt ourselves, we might have hurt people that we love. It's really looking into, can you forgive yourself the why, to really feel into that aspect of self that made this belief system in the first place. When you can understand it, when you can feel compassion, then it will set you free. To the fourth thing, which is change. So we often think about releasing things from the past, and we don't often think as much about what you're going to replace that with. Finding the empowered part of myself that can take that place, the part that knows the importance of self-care, that knows choosing busyness, productivity, overcommitment, overgiving, overwhelm is actually selfish and irresponsible. What's genuinely responsible is to choose to nourish ourselves, to give ourselves healthy boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable, to give ourselves the time, the space for adequate sleep, and to experience joy and pleasure in the world. And that is what's going to ripple out into all of our relationships, enriching ourselves and everyone around us.